Hey, buenos dias, ¿qué pasó, amigos? Welcome back to the channel, John's Moto Garage. So the big question, am I getting rich off of YouTube? All right, today I'm gonna go over how much I've been making on the channel as of late. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I will go over a brief background, who I am, what I do here. If you've been tagging along for a while, then you know every 6 months or so, I'll do an update video letting you guys know what my earnings are on the channel. I think it's cool to be transparent. Also, as a viewer of other channels, I love to see what people can make. I think it can be motivational, inspiring, and frankly, it's just cool to see side hustles and interesting ways people can make a little bit of cash on the side. So I'll start out by doing a brief background, then I'll go into my earnings, how much I'm making on the channel. We'll see, am I making way more now that I have just under 30,000 subscribers than I did when I had around 2,000? And then stay tuned to the end. If you're an aspiring YouTuber or you have a channel of your own, I'll go over some of the tricks and tips, a few things that I've learned that have been super helpful for me with my channel up to this point. All right, so let's start out with the brief background. Again, my name's John. I started the channel in August of 2018, and I do motorcycle stuff. Initially, the idea was to document my side hustle, buying and selling bikes. But in addition to that, I was getting into riding motorcycles more as well. So I wanted to learn wheelies, I wanted to learn stoppies. But in a nutshell, I do motorcycle stuff. It took me 7 months to hit the benchmarks to get my channel monetized. If you don't know, YouTube requires 1,000 subscribers and at least 10,000 watch hours before they'll run ads on your channel. A lot of people may be wondering, how long did it take YouTube to review my channel and run ads after I hit those benchmarks? It took about 2 weeks. All right, so my first month of being monetized, March of 2019, I brought in just over $700, and that was only for about just over half of the month. So I thought that was pretty awesome. I was totally blown away. I expected to make, I don't know, 25, maybe 100 bucks. So I was definitely stoked on that. The following month, I think I brought in around $1,400, and then I ended up having my highest month of around $1,700 shortly after that. Now from there, the channel kind of went up and down, but I never made under $1,000, and I would say my average was anywhere from like, I don't know, $1,300 to $1,500 a month. All right, so those were my earnings early on within the channel when I only had around 2,000 subscribers. Right now, I'm just shy of 30,000 subscribers. So the big question now is, how much am I making? Am I making 30 times more than I was before? Well, unfortunately, no, I'm not making 30 times than I was before. I'm not making 30,000 bucks a month on the channel. As many of you know, it all comes down to the number of views that you're receiving. So I'll go over my channel, my earnings for 2019. In January, I didn't have an awesome month. I think I only brought in around $1,200 to $1,300. February, I actually had a video that did relatively well. It didn't like blow up by any means, but it had the most number of views in the shortest amount of time. So it kind of had a nice little spike. And in February, I brought in $2,700. So that was $1,000 more than my previous record. So I was pretty stoked on that. March of this year, I brought in around $1,800, and then April, which we just finished up, I brought in just shy of 2,000 bucks. So as many of you know, with revenue, it all depends on how many views you're getting. And so what I'm seeing is, even though the channel's growing, I'm still kind of plateaued in terms of views. It does ebb and flow a little bit, and also with what's going on in the economy right now, advertisers aren't paying quite as much for their ads, and so I do get paid a little bit less based on that. So technically right now my views are higher, but it's still kind of a wash. But there you have it. Those are my earnings on the channel. So far I've been doing this for about 13 months, and I've made just barely over $20,000. So no, I'm not getting rich off the channel. No, it's not enough to provide for my family, to, you know, put food on the table and pay the mortgage and all that good stuff. But I'm getting paid to ride a motorcycle, to ramble nonsense into my helmet, and so I definitely can't complain about that. It's been a total blast for sure. So let me know, drop a comment below. Are you guys surprised by those earnings? Is it disappointing? Is that more than you expected? Is that less than you expected? Let me know below. All right, and now for any of you aspiring YouTubers out there, or if you've been running a channel, or maybe you're just thinking about it, here's a few things that I've kind of learned over my 1.5 years, almost 2 years running a channel. So we can say a few tricks and tips for new YouTubers, and I had to jot some of these down. So number one rule for me always has been have fun. When I went into this, I knew that nobody was forcing my hand, putting a gun to my head saying do a YouTube channel. And so I always remind myself, have fun doing this, man. If you're not having fun, you got to change things up, or maybe it's just not worth doing. Number two is negativity. You're gonna have negativity, especially as the channel grows. The broader your audience, the higher the odds that you're gonna have people trolling and negativity. And it's important to learn that there's some constructive and positive feedback and take that for what it is. Listen to your viewers and make changes, adapt, try things out. But the negativity, learn to ignore it. And there's always going to be haters, am I right? Another big one that you always hear is be consistent, but consistency really is important and it is key. But it's important as you're being consistent to, like I said, kind of see what the trends are, see what the viewers like, how they're reacting to different videos. And if you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over, you know, Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, right? So be consistent, but also be willing to modify, be flexible, change things up, try out different things, because you never know what may stick. You may stumble on that gold mine, on what it is that works for you, and it'll do super well. In fact, one of my videos that initially took off better, faster than any of the others, it was a total video that was just random. I happened to go to a dealership to trade in a motorcycle, and while I was there, they were doing demo rides. I thought, hey, I'll jump on, take this motorcycle for a spin, and document the process. That video did better than any of my other videos had done up to that point. All right, another one, Brainstorm. If you're at a loss of ideas, it's good. I bring this little thing with me all over the place. Whenever I have an idea pop into my head, I just jot it down in the notebook. And then I make it to a point where I don't have any ideas for a video, and I'll refer back to my notebook, and bam, there you go. Keep an idea list. That way you always have fresh new content, stuff you can bring out. Another one is be unique. Now, I know you hear this is pretty generic. There's tons of channels and a lot of the genres are kind of saturated, but it doesn't mean you can't break into those. If you can bring something new to the table, some new value, some new entertainment. For example, with motorcycles, there's tons and tons of motovloggers. I had no idea how many people were doing this until after starting my channel. In fact, had I gone into it knowing just how many motovlog channels are out there, I probably wouldn't even have done it in the first place. I went into it a little bit naive and ignorant, to be honest. But if you bring something new to the table, whether it be value, entertainment, whatever it is that's different than what everybody else is doing, even though you're in the same genre, the same field, then you can still break through and do well. Something I do that not many other people do is I buy bikes, I sell bikes, I go over how much you can make on it, I go over, how to inspect bikes, all that stuff, but then I'm also riding the bikes, I'm trying them out, I'm putting them through the paces. You're not going to see many people out there who are trying wheelies on all these different motorcycles or pushing the limits on the different bikes. I'm not a professional rider, I'm not a professional anything, but I just bring a little bit to the table in these different areas. And you'll note a lot of the people who do really well, either they got in on the ground level with that initial wave, or they brought something new to the table that nobody else had been doing. So be unique in that way. Another big one, stick with it. When I started out, the goal I set for myself was try it out for a year and see how it does. My first 7 months, I was grinding and it was tough and I was not seeing big results. But I focused on the growth, I focused on the progression, and at that time, after 3 months, I wasn't even at 300 subscribers, but I was still super stoked on where I was. So stick with it, and then be stoked on the progress, on the progression, focus on that positive, focus on what you are able to do, not on what you're not achieving. Here's one that I've kind of learned, ride the wave. So sometimes you have videos that do well and take off, ride that wave, man, ride it until it crashes. Typically, if videos are doing well, it's because that's what the viewers want to see. So bring them more of what they want to see. When you stop getting the views, that's an indication that, okay, let's change it up a little bit. But don't be scared to ride the wave. Also, it's important to balance it out. It's easy when you're doing YouTube to go all in and you're putting way too much into it. So balance it out. Maintain that good work-life YouTube balance. And then my last tip is just do it. You know the old Nike adage, just do it. There's so many people for so long have the thought or desire to do YouTube channel, and for all these different reasons they don't do it. I need the audio, I need this, I need the camera setup, I don't have a good backdrop, whatever it may be. The hardest part is just getting that initial video out of the way. Once you've done it, once you know it's possible, from there you can go up. Odds are your first couple videos are going to totally suck, man. I still post videos that totally suck, but just do it, get over that initial barrier, and the rest will be much easier. Now obviously there's tons of other tips and tricks, tons of things I've learned, tons of tips other people can bring you as well, but those are some of the ones that come to mind right now. My journey thus far with the channel has been a total blast. I've been able to meet tons of cool people, interact with a super awesome community, and just have an awesome time riding motorcycles. If I were to die tomorrow, I could say that at least for part of my life, I was truly following my passion. Riding bikes, having fun, and hey, getting paid a little bit for doing that, that's just a huge bonus. Again, thanks for tuning in, you guys. John's Moto Garage. Like and subscribe if you dig the content. Drop a comment below if you enjoy this type of content. I can do more videos like this. And until next time, ride safe, have fun, stay out of trouble, and we'll catch you on the next one. Adios, nos vemos.